Alright, so anyone that's not familiar with Floating Passage in Sekiro, the combat art that unleashes repeated attacks, overwhelming enemies with flowing dance-like movements, while in Ashina combat art, it was taught by an outsider and as such as is considered hysterical. The master of this technique crossed the floating passage and descended to Asina, her name Tamo. Anyways, it's basically that one that the dude uses on you when you get your first what is it? Fuck, I forgot what it's called. Your first ninjutsu. So anyways, after you beat like his first form where he's doing that 7 slash attack, that is basically what this floating passage is. And you can get it for 5 carp scales when you meet the dude in the floating pot when you get to Harada Estate for 5 carp scales, and it's actually pretty worth it. Most people don't know what it does. Well, what it does is when an enemy is guarding, not only does it does damage to their posture, but also their vitality. So the whole time that they're guarding, you're also doing tiny little chunks of damage to their vitality, which helps do damage to their posture, which is actually a pretty useful technique. So if you got 5 carp scales and you're wondering what the floating passage does, it takes away their vitality and adds damage to their posture at the same time while they're guarding. So if you're having difficult with certain enemies that are guarding a lot and you're trying to take down their vitality, like bosses and shit like that, for example, you could use floating passage on them and it'll decrease their vitality while adding up damage onto their posture scale. Anyways, I just wanted to let people know that about Sekiro in case anyone was wondering what floating passage does.